This was the first time I went out with a camera and really thought about taking pictures seriously. Everything was captured in black and white. I wanted to really focus on the form and the structure of things. The Lumix has a good black and white filter. I think it did what I was looking for. With a bit more time to look into the settings, I could have got a filter and a setup which really worked for the pictures I was taking in each setting. I'm really trying to break away from doing something perfect, so it's a little bit flawed, but it's there. I just kind of let myself kind of go. Like, I had no reason, no story to tell there, and I just wanted to see if I could find something. From the whole day I went out, I've got 3 images I kind of wanted to go into more detail with. They're not the best, I could get better ones, but I think they're kind of interesting to look back on and find ways to maybe do this again and improve upon it, or just interesting to look at. The first image is a vertical image showing buildings to the left and to the right of the frame. It has a strip of sky in the middle. The buildings feel very confining in the rural environment, but that little bit of sky hints at freedom. My eye immediately goes down to the bottom middle of this image, and then I work my way up. So for me, looking at this, there's a line going all the way up, so I'm just tracing that line. It almost feels like breaking out of the streets, the buildings, breaking out of the ruralness of it. The buildings on each side act like guiding rails that funnel the eye upwards. In the foreground you have all this busyness of like the buildings and such, and then in the background you have this freedom, this space, emptiness there. I chose to do something in black and white because it forces you to look at the scene differently. When you take the color away, you're telling a story in the contrast of things and not the relationship of them, I guess. The process of shooting in black and white, it was a little bit different from just like switching a filter on my camera. I had to kind of change my mindset, so I was really looking for like how the shapes intermingled with each other, leading lines and such, and really not things I would consider. I guess I'd be looking at, normally in color, I'm kind of looking for like points of interest, motion, action, but then here I'm looking for more structures, things which last, you know. There's a lot of shots here which I think with a bit more time, lining them up a bit better, really working out like the settings and stuff to get the optimal kind of result, I think returning to this would be interesting to do. I think a lot of the features of this image, so they're seen within like film noir and German expressionist cinema, they signal internal conflict, they signal unreal states and mental strain. In the background you have these very like dark greys which are like framed by the sharp whites, and just the sharpness of the building in the background is contrasted by, I guess, the chaos of the trees and you have the texture of the bark there. There's this little bit of a gradient, so in the bottom corner you have this very like textured slats there, and then as it kind of rises up you've got this grayer section of the building, and then leading into the exposed kind of sky there. The gradient makes me feel upright, so the gradient would be going up to like from the bottom to up, and then because the angle is turned, my equilibrium is slightly off. It's skewed, and there's something about this which makes me feel very uneasy. Looking at it with the background and the foreground, it looks very odd and strange. So this image just shows a church, very textured wall, nice buildings, nice decorations there, nice buildings, nice windows, nice decorations. Has a similar tone to the trees, which I think kind of like muddies it up a little bit. This doesn't show like a good contrast at all. And there's a lot of clashing within the framework and the lines. The bottom rail really kind of like cuts off the section there, but then it's interrupted by that bush. On the bottom right of the thirds, you see the tree kind of reach out and then it arcs up into the top left third. So this tree really comes in on the bottom right third and then arcs up into the top left. You have this huge obstruction from this tree kind of inking out all over the place. You have, I mean, hell, look at the church is just in the background and it's so textured, so busy, and then the sky is pretty much the same shade there as well. You can't even see where the sky really cuts into this at all. On the tree there are like shoes hanging off it, and that completely gets lost in the composition. A lot of those little details on the tree itself are just completely lost because there's no shading, there's no contrast there. This is just a muddy greyish blur of like some details, but there's really not a lot there to really make out. But overall, I don't think this was a good example of an image there, but it's good to learn from mistakes. Filming in black and white helped me really understand each of the core components building the foundation of, I guess, filmmaking as a whole. You have obviously shapes and lines and symmetry, as well as how you use the like negative space. The foreground and the background rely heavily on the contrast. So in a lot of the shots I got, I really had to think not just the scene, not just what was in front of me, but behind, seeing the leaves for the trees and the forest. But yeah, it wasn't just about the pictures, it was about the feeling behind it. With this and the other videos I've done as well, I've looked at the feeling behind each of the shot. I'm trying to capture something a bit more personal, and that the instinct to look at things in different ways. I guess seeing how like it communicates different ideas to the audience.